You cannot change what you refuse to notice. Most people don't struggle because life is against them. They struggle because they are living on autopilot without realizing it. Awareness, as I always speak, real awareness is where everything begins. Before growth, before healings, before success, before clarity, there is awareness. Real awareness. It is not motivation. It is not discipline, not strategy, pure awareness. Because you cannot fix a pattern you don't see. Do you really understand what living on autopilot looks like? Many adults wake up, go through their day, react to situations, feel emotions, make decisions without ever asking, why do I respond this way? You get irritated quickly. You avoid certain conversations. You repeat the same relationship pattern. You feel stuck in circles you can explain. And slowly start feeling repetitive. Not because nothing is changing, but because you're responding to the same way every time. That is what we call autopilot. Now, let's think about this real life situation. Imagine someone who keeps saying, I always end up in the wrong environment. Different job, same frustration, different relationship, same emotional exhaustion, different city, same feeling of being misunderstood. At some point, the question changes from why does this keep happening to me to what am I unconsciously repeating? That question is awareness waking up. I remember someone once told me that awareness feels uncomfortable. And here's a truth most people avoid. Awareness removes excuses. When you become aware, you start noticing your reaction. You notice how quickly you assumed the worst, how often you doubt yourself, how you avoid discomfort, how fear disguises itself as logic. And that realization can feel heavy because awareness doesn't blame, it reveals. This is my personal reflection. There were moments in my own life when I thought circumstances were the problem. The environment, the timing, the opportunities. But when I slowed down long enough to observe myself, I noticed something deeper. My reactions were predictable. My fear sounded familiar. My hesitation followed patterns. Nothing changed externally first. Awareness changed internally, and suddenly I could see choices where before I only saw obstacles. What we say is the difference between awareness and self-criticism. Awareness is not judging yourself. That is important. Self-criticism says, what's wrong with me? But awareness will ask, what is happening inside me right now? One creates shame and the other creates understanding. That's the difference. Awareness is like curiosity and not a punishment. Let's think about this example. Someone cuts you off in a traffic. One person might react with anger for hours, another moves on seconds. It's the same event, but different awareness. But the difference is not personality, as people will say. It is recognition. The aware person notices, I'm feeling triggered. And that small moment of noticing creates space between emotion and reaction. And that space is power. For my own personal reason, this is why awareness changes everything. Once you notice a pattern, you're no longer controlled by it. You may still feel the emotion, you may still struggle, but now you see it. And what you can see, you can reshape. Awareness turns unconscious living into intentional living. So let's take this moment and ask yourself quietly, what reaction do I repeat most often? Is it stress, avoidance, overthinking, people pleasing? Just notice. It's never fixing yet. Just notice. For me, the first step of transformation is people often ask, what should I change first? The answer is simple. Don't change anything yet. Just observe. Watch your thoughts like a listener What's your reaction like a student? Because awareness is the foundation every lasting change stands on. And here's a reflection for today. At the end of each day, write down one moment you reacted strongly and ask yourself this question. What happened? What did I believe in that moment? It's not actually about judgment. It's just awareness. And my closing reflection today is awareness doesn't instantly change your life, but it changes your relationship with your life. And once you see clearly, you cannot go back to unconscious living. This is where growth begins, and this is where freedom begins. This is Michael Speaks. Until next time.